Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jay here with another Nordcraft 101 video. Today, we're going to be going over building responsive layouts in Nordcraft. Now, let me preface this by saying, hey, if you're a B2B agency and you need software automation, go ahead and check out riseware.com. And if this video gives you any value or you learn anything from it, go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe as we're trying to hit 100 subscribers. All right, so let's get right into it. So, in the previous video, the one on classes, we added these primary and dark classes to our little cards here. But we run into a problem is that when we start to close, I was looking for a word there. When we start to lessen the screen width here, we can see that these cards get very bunched together until eventually they break their container like so. The reason this happens is because I am using grid instead of flex. So you could manage this with flex, but for some reason I prefer using grid. This example is going to be using grid. So I hope you're prepared for that. So as a little bit of context here, we have this grid class and on this, this grid component. And on this grid component, we literally just have it being set to grid and we have a gap. So then here we're using it by going to the CSS panel and we're adding custom CSS to get the grid template columns so that we can get these 3 columns in a row. Now, when we start to get smaller, maybe around, let's go 900 pixels. What we might want to happen is we might want these cards to stack instead of being 3 in a row here. So to do that, all we have to do is get this number. We can see that it's around 900. And I like to do this. You don't have to do this, but I will always convert this to rem. So I'll do 900 divided by 16, and that is 56.25. So then I will come here to the grid, and I will go to the style, press the plus, go to viewport width, and I'll do 55.65. I think that's what it was. And we converted it to rem. So I'm going to say rem there. Then we'll stay in the custom CSS panel for now, at least, because grid is not integrated in the UI yet. By the time you watch this video, it might be. But in case grid is not integrated in the UI yet, you would have to manually type in grid template columns. And all we need to say here is 1FR so that every card will just stack and only be 1 in a row. So you see here that right at around the 900 mark, 900 pixels, we get that nice little responsiveness going there. So now let's learn how we can do the same thing, but with a nav menu. I didn't plan for this, but I'm just feeling it. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Okay, so now what we might want to do is when this starts to get too small, we might want to get rid of this nav menu or show this button. So what I'm going to do is let's figure out the point where we don't want the button to show. So I don't want to show the button if, let's say, 600 pixels. So around here, we don't want to show the button. And then let's see, 600 divided by 16 is 37.5. So we can say on the button, this is the wrong button. I just realized it's not my button. I don't have a button component here. Never mind. So on the button in the style, we want to say if it is above 37.5 rem, then we want the display to be none. So we'll see that at the 600 pixel mark around there, it hides. So then we can say that at 600 and below for the nav menu, we want it to be hidden. So we can go right here and we're going to use that same number, but we're going to use it in the below 37.5 rem that it would be display none. So now we'll see that if it's smaller than 600 pixels, we'll get the open and close. If it's larger than 600 pixels, we'll actually see the nav menu. Okay, so now we can actually create another menu. We can get another container if we wanted. This would be where our what's it called? Our mobile menu will be when you press the open and close. Let me see. I can actually probably, yeah, no, we'll do that. open and close. And then let's go ahead and we'll use our card base here. We'll use our card base, and we're just going to put the same nav bar menu in there like so. But we're going to say that this will be in the column on the left side like so. And then we can just add some spacing between those, like 2 rem. That'd be too much, like 1 rem, like that. Okay, so now we have to create a variable here to control the open and close state of this nav bar. So we can then do open, and by default, we want to set that to false, or whatever you want to name that, because open is probably not a good name. But then we can show and hide this container based on open and close. And if we want to be just a little bit, I don't know why I said close there, but if we want to be just a little bit more safer as well, we can say that if it is greater than the 37.5 rem, that it'll be display none as well. Okay, so now on this button press, let's go with click, and let's do set open, and we're going to set open to open, and then we're going to add the not formula. So all this is going to do is going to take in open and give us whatever the opposite of it is. So if it's true, it's going to give us false. If it's false, it's going to give us true. Okay, we'll do that. So now you see that if we press this, oh, I did, sorry about that, default based on open. So if we see the current value is set to true, but we're not seeing this one here. Let me go ahead and get rid of this class for now, like so. We can now see that that works. Let me just figure out how to fix that really quickly. So if it is, yeah, I put in the wrong, I think I put in the wrong one, 37.5 rem. For above, we want this to be display none. And then if we open and, oh, I had it, I don't know when I set the default there to, there we go. Okay, hold on a minute. There we go. Sorry, I had the wrong one set. So we can see, there we go, that now it, even if it's greater than the screen size, sorry, if it's greater than the 600 pixels, it'll then still be closed. I gotta sneeze. What is happening? I just said I had to sneeze and then I coughed, but it felt like I sneezed. I don't know what's happening. Anyways, let's continue. I think that's pretty much it. Now we just made this nav bar responsive. We have an open and close. Granted, it doesn't look very nice, but we have an open and close, and we have this little responsive navigation bar here. And we even made the homepage grid. We made that. How'd it end up here? We made that responsive as well. And that's how you can make responsive layouts in Nordcraft. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you like this video and you want to see more of it, go ahead and leave a like and comment on what you'd like to see more of, and subscribe as we're trying to hit 100 followers. And subscribe as we're trying to hit 100 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, happy building.